seeded place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Praetorian versus ZEROFYNE. This is one to watch out for, because
right.
I agree with you. Whoever wins this is probably the favorite to move on.
Yeah.
We're going to have to see if the strength of Portal can remain, because, for example, if Praetorian ends up being the player on the winner's side, next week people can bring a bunch of decks that hurt Portalcraft.
That's right.
If Portalcraft is one of those decks that is polarizing.
Oh, absolutely.
It has its good matchups. It has its very bad matchups too.
Dragoncraft being one of them. And that's why you see it banned out right here. You do not want to play against Dragoncraft when you're playing Portalcraft.
Yeah. Today's fantastic. We get to see Daria.
Yeah, Daria being played, not banned every time. We see Dragon played today. We get some Portal. We get some Haven. We get all different types of Forestcraft. It's good. It's a good day.
It's a great day. Giant Chimera Daria as well.
Also, guys, just remember, we've been talking about what's going to be happening in the future of the tournament. Next week is the finals. That's when we get to see both NA and the EU finish up. We also get a nice little reprieve on Friday night to watch some SEAO action.
That's right.
And more SEAO news for future of esports in that region will be coming out on that day as well. So stay tuned for that next week as well, guys.
If you have any friends in the Southeast Asian and Oceania regions, tell them. Let them know that there's things coming.
Yeah.
Things are coming for the region.
Don't sit idly on your hands. There are things in motion that they need to learn about.
Somebody tell Ignitius. Where is he?
Yeah, where is Ignitius?
Is Igni here? Are you sleeping?
Igni.
Man.
He's probably sleeping right now.
Igni should be at more like live tournaments.
Well, he went to the last big one that was in his region, so I can't imagine that he'll miss out on the next one. If anything, he might be one of the casters for the region, so we'll see.
I just want to see him more.
He's a good guy. I'll be actually working with him in a couple days.
That's right.
But we get to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff happening. Just like this Conjure Guardian.
Is this the first Daria mirror match that we've seen?
I feel like it is, yeah. Portalcraft got let through. Hey, Mid-Shadow, the streak of Mid-Shadow not being banned is broken.
That's true. We do get to see a ban here.
Nope.
Yeah, very interesting to ban Mid-Shadow and leave Daria.
I can see this if ZEROFYNE feels like both his other lists have good matchups, and you don't want to play a 50-50 matchup, right?
That's true. You don't have to play a 50-50 matchup. This is true. And I like that. That's something that we talked about. It's less flipping a coin. But Praetorian starting out very heavy to the board here, even without a Daria. As a matter of fact, no Daria in hand.
And going second, we talked about the advantage of Evolution Orbs in the Daria matchup, right?
Not only that, but ZEROFYNE also not with Daria. So both players know Daria. In my mind, the person who has tempo has a very huge edge, and right now that player is Praetorian.
You talk about tempo on board, but tempo in hand as well. Look at those Dem Chimera.
Yeah, Dem Chimeras.
All them boys.
The boys. Those aren't the boys. Those are like...
Dem Chimeras.
Yeah, what like, again, we've tried to talk about what a Chimera is. Chimera's like half lion, half Pegasus?
Lion, snake,
snake? I don't know if is it a snake?
Somebody in Twitch chat knows.
Maybe it is. You know what? Chimeras in some fashion look like dragons that have multiple heads. So maybe it's like the three-headed dog Cerberus mixed with a dragon mixed with something that is more pure. You know what I mean? I think. Maybe not.
Yeah. Let's take that.
Sure. Whatever the case may be, Dem Boys, we'll just stick with it. That makes sense.
Evolve for face.
Lots of Dem Boys.
Evolve for face. Evolve for face.
Let's start the race. Hit the face.
There it is. Very good. I approve.
We got it.
This is the type of game I like to play.
Yeah, what's also interesting is ZEROFYNE's playing the more guarded Daria deck with things like Fiery Embrace and Giant Chimera in the end game, but it's not helping him so much right now, having to play this tempo game against another Daria deck.
Best thing that Praetorian can draw is probably some kind of spell, maybe like a Mysterious Knowledge.
Mysterious Knowledge would be amazing.
Alright, getting some ward to the board.
Rhymes just popping out of you today.
Ward to the board is all you can afford.
It's popping out.
Otherwise, oh my lord, Praetorian has just got a horde of monsters ready to go. And ZEROFYNE can't break the flow of damage that's coming in.
Nope, and this will be 4 more damage coming in this turn. Wow.
It really looks like Praetorian's going to win.
We called it. And has a ward to protect. With no evolution orbs left for ZEROFYNE, this might be lights out.
Yep. We talked about the Mysterious Knowledge being the card
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Just picked it up.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, no problem.
Pretty good. He would have preferred a Mysterious Missile, but I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah. ZEROFYNE is just getting beat up. Like, he's just got nothing compared to what
Nothing.
Praetorian had.
I'm
That's
telling
why
you,
Praetorian
dude.
is so good at Portalcraft.
I'm telling you, dude. Praetorian this season, along with ZEROFYNE, just like it just feels like his decks are just like giving him wins. You know what I mean? Like, he's an awesome player. Like I said, he's got awesome decks, but the decks are just, they're treating him so well.
Yeah. I don't know. When you
when you're playing well and everything's going for you, that's how you win championships.
Praetorian is the card whisperer.
That's right.
He thinks and it becomes.
Yeah, that's right.
And
He's
he
like, I heard
draws.
you guys on Death say that Mysterious Knowledge would be the best draw.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I kind of agree with you. Hey, Deck, you know what to do.
Just do what you do.
Do what you do.
Do
You
what
draw me
you
the
do.
best card in this situation, and be mighty fine.
Praetorian takes the first win. Daria's still on the table. ZEROFYNE can still play with it.
Yes.
This is what we talk about with Daria, right? Having 2 rolls with it is very good. But then Praetorian then ZEROFYNE falls back onto mid shadow if he does win off of that.
Right.
And certainly not tilting dragon.
Certainly not.
So we'll have to think about that matchup. Playing mid shadow into Portalcraft is not the
what you
easiest
wanna
thing in
do.
the world.
Yeah, that is actually why you bring Portalcraft to a tournament like this, because it does have a good matchup against Shadowcraft, and honestly, against a slower version of Daria like ZEROFYNE has, Portalcraft might have a good shot too. If you don't have those, well, never mind. I was gonna say if you don't have those early Daria draws, but we're looking at an almost perfect hand so far.
The very insightful ZEROFYNE. He's about to fast forward. Okay.
That's right. Now I want to see if this new tech card that Praetorian has does a lot of work for him.
Could maybe help against Daria, right? There are some big beefy followers that you could mitigate maybe 1 or 2 points of damage each.
That's right.
But also, you kind of don't want to give away any of your artifacts necessarily, right?
He got the other 1-drop.
Oh no.
This is turn 4 Daria status coming at you live.
Oh, ZEROFYNE. This is karma.
This is karma. This is definitely karma.
There's a lot of artifacts being pulled here. I think it gets to the point where you can actually justify playing a nilpotent entity. You can see there its effect is an amulet countdown 2 normally, but you can add 2 more to the countdown if it discards an artifact in hand.
Man, he's been drawing all his artifacts. Look at this.
Yeah.
An Acceleratium off the top could turn this game right around.
Yeah, absolutely wants the Acceleratium. And the card draw is really the big thing here. I think on the next turn, Praetorian can just drop Nilpotent and 2 Analyzing Artifacts, but maybe not even. Maybe you just want to drop all your Analyzing Artifacts because you don't need the damage mitigation right now.
Interesting. ZEROFYNE went for the card draw option instead of just the unload option when he had the chance for a very early Daria. Very interesting choice to me. I kind of just go, if I have the perfect draw, I just kind of slam it on turn 4 and roll the dice. Get all those Oglers in my hand and pop them down, win the game immediately.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is it. A full board for Praetorian. Got a lot of very efficient follower usage, and I don't think there's any kind of ping. There's no real Luriel like.
This is what I'm talking about. Why not go the full Monty with that Daria super quick?
This is tough. Now everything is 2 damage, so this follower is quite beefy in that regard.
I've never seen. I have never seen a draw like this from Portalcraft, where they get all of the artifacts that they put in their deck immediately.
Yeah, the combination of Machine Soldier and just happenstance, right?
Absolutely incredible. And Praetorian, being who he is, Deus Ex Machina in the hand. Never fails. It is unbelievable.
Okay, Iron Staff Mechanic is going to allow... okay, he's going for the card draw rather than the face damage. Oh! That's good.
Finds that too.
That is good.
So Resonance off, Resonance on, Resonance off. So if, at the moment, I think he's probably not gearing up to set it off next turn.
Yeah.
Unless
probably
he draws
not
something
gonna
else.
have a turn 6 Deus Ex.
Which gives him time, which means that he can play out his Acceleratium and get full value out of it. Not this turn, but possibly next turn.
Yes.
Or the turn after, even after
that's
Deus
a smart
Ex.
way to do it. We'll get rid of his one of Nilpotent, which I think is totally fine.
Totally
it's
fine.
not making or breaking this matchup.
This is a giant Chimera deck, though, so technically it could do something crazy.
Yeah, that's right. That actually does reduce the effectiveness of Giant Chimera by an incredible amount.
Yeah. Almost the full amount. Now, it looks like he is setting up the Acceleratium this turn, which means that he's probably going to play the Deus Ex next turn and just hope that this Analyzing Artifact does not hit the bin this turn. Which is very possible.
Okay. We still have yet to see the Daria rolls, but there's actually so many cards in hand for ZEROFYNE. It's hard to understand whether he's losing value by playing the Daria.
In my mind, had he played Daria last turn, when he had the first opportunity to, he could have set up for so much more. Now that he's like waiting and waiting and waiting, like he's not really even setting up anything crazy. Like all he did with all of these turns was set up one ward so far. You know what I mean? Like yes, in a few turns more things can happen, but we're getting to the turns where Portalcraft can start answering full boards. The longer you wait, if you're ZEROFYNE, the harder it's going to be to get maximum usage out of these full boards.
Yeah, that's the kind of... You may as well play the Enchanted Sword if you're playing Daria, right? Which I would imagine you want to go with Daria on this turn.
If he plays Daria this turn, it will make no sense to me what he did before this.
Okay, he passed.
Yeah, he's got... I mean, if he's going for the value play, he has to go for the value play.
That allows the opportunity for Praetorian to drop the Deus Ex.
And pop it off this turn. The Analyzing Artifact, of course, remaining in play, not changing the Resonance modifier there.
Goodbye to Nilpotent. But now the full potential of Portalcraft is unleashed.
That's right. So now every turn Resonance is active. He can discard his hand, draw 6 new ones, and if he ever wants to choose to slow down, he can always turn it off.
Yep. One Dimension Cut brought to hand for Praetorian. So he has removal.
Alright, this looks like the turn that ZEROFYNE is going to pop off. This is his time.
Yep.
The gears of fate still turn.
Chimeras are ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Ugler down. Chimera. Drop the zero-cost Daria.
Play another Chimera. Oh, wow.
That Chimera is at 9.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
That's about as good as it gets for his deck. He's got another Daria redraw if he wants that. He's got his Giant Chimera play if he wants that.
Now, Portalcraft ends the game quite slow if it's not kind of the early tempo happenstance flood of artifacts.
That's true.
That means that the Giant Chimera has time to ramp.
It has time to ramp, but Praetorian, again, with ZEROFYNE allowing those couple extra turns of not playing the Daria, Praetorian does have ways to deal with a lot of this board.
Interesting. He could have substituted that Golem, but chose to Dimension Cut it, and now he doesn't have the Dimension Cut for the
Yeah, that's
Chimera.
really weird. That's really weird.
His Otherworld Rift also disallows him from playing the artifact when he draws. He probably should have done that turn first if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dimension Cut on a 3 defense follower.
Has enough play points to play the Machine Soldier, but I think it's likely to pull this Ancient. Is Ancient the board? Ancient artifact?
Analyzing, I think, is
No, Ancient is a draw. Mystic.
No. Analyzing is a draw. Ancient is the rush.
Is the rush.
Mystic
is the
draw.
ward.
Yeah.
Radiant is a storm.
That's
But
right.
I think he's going to pull Mystic off the Machine Soldier. I feel like that's what's likely. Okay, doesn't go for that plan at all.
Okay. Probably going to turn Resonance back on, yep, with the meta production. Leaving a lot of damage on board. Yeah, very interesting to play that turn that way.
Huh.
Probably could have dealt with a little bit more had he used the substitution on the 3/3, like you said. And has Acceleratium, but not a lot of artifacts to use with it next turn. This redraw from Praetorian, not very good.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see how these turns play out. Remember, just continually boosting that Giant Chimera as well.
Yep.
The boosts are coming real quick. I don't know if you want to play the last Daria.
I don't think
I guess
so.
Yeah.
At this point, you don't need to. You have full board control, and unless they can wipe your board, you're fine. And unfortunately, Praetorian. Okay, that was. Oh, he already had an Icarus. Okay, so Icarus could chain into a lot.
Yeah, because has the Evolve Orb, also Spinaria. You can throw in the Spinaria's artifact to pull you another artifact, and because you're getting back so many play points, this turn is going to be insane for Praetorian.
Yeah. So the Deus Ex gives you the play point back when you play an artifact. Both Acceleratiums do. So essentially, you profit 2 play points off of all the 1 play point artifacts you get to play.
Just one swing, artifact down. He's going to go up to 5 play points.
And this
6.
is where you hope to chain. You're just like, please, 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 more artifacts.
Yeah, he needs more 1-cost artifacts specifically. If you play down the Spinera, you can run the Spinera's artifact into the Chimera. We'll remove the Chimera and draw you another artifact.
But you don't
it needs
get
to
any
be a
play
1-cost.
points.
Yeah. So playing the Mystic first, I think, is smart.
Yeah.
Yep. Even cost here.
And got a dimension cut, which is sorely needed.
But he does need to clear out board space if he wants one more artifact drop. So this Mystic artifact needs to run into a 3/4 or the 4/1. Okay, so probably.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's it. There's no more clear after
He could have given himself resonance and taken care of the bigger followers. His options are, he's limiting himself. He has removal for the bigger followers, and he can do a lot more with his turns, but he's choosing not to. I'm very confused. So I say Portalcraft is a very tough deck to play. Every decision is huge.
Is Giant Chimera at lethal boost now? I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, it started with 5, 7, and I think, has he played
It's
any
probably lethal.
Oh, he's played 2 more. It's at, I believe it's
Definitely
at like 9.
If you clear this board, right?
I mean, after this
Oh,
attack.
I would have cleared the board.
That's sketch.
Yeah. Not at Saphira turns, though.
It is the turn before Saphira, but leaving 6 in play means...
So
well, I guess there
basically,
wasn't a
Praetorian
Radiant.
needs to buff up the stats on board, but he has 2 Acceleradiums now clogging it up.
It's always a danger of playing both of them. Does have a really good hand to clear this entire board this turn finally, though. But can he leave enough stats in play is the thing. So if my calculations are correct, and it's around 9, or say let's even say it's up to 11, right? That 9 to 11 range. I think it's at 9 though.
He can play up to 3 2 defense followers here. Just throw in all 3 of your ancient artifacts into these 3 followers, and then it's all about playing. Uh-oh, the Hamlet's not good.
That's not good. That's a 1 defense follower that is sticking up some board space here.
Yeah, you had enough artifacts to clear.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the Hamlin.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Time to head home.
What did he Hamlin? He Hamlin the Iron Staff.
Alright, so he
The
gets to
Iron
play.
Staff is definitely the one that you want to drop.
Yep. So he is safe, I believe, for this turn. 5, 6. He's at technically 12, and I don't think the Giant Chimera is at 12.
It's pretty close.
Oh, never mind.
What is it? 13. Oh
Okay,
my
never
God!
mind.
It's
way
1
higher than I
off.
thought.
It's 1 off. If he dropped the Iron Staff plus
Not the
a
Hamlin.
2 defense follower, oh my
Not the
God!
Hamlin.
Oh
It's tough.
my God!
There were 3 plays that game though where he didn't use his dimension cuts for their full value, and he took extra damage on those turns because of it, leading up to that Hamlin play where he took a couple extra damage. I feel like the win was in his wheelhouse, and he just kind of gave it up.
Interesting. Portalcraft is a tough deck, but if there was
Love
any
watching it
difficult
play, though.
matchup, it was probably that.
Yeah, that's definitely a difficult matchup. And this is a matchup where I feel like Praetorian's probably a little more comfortable in. This is why he built the deck and brought it today, was to play against Shadowcraft. Mordecai leader. Very cool. I'm so happy that Mordecai is not in the game, at least in rotation anymore, because that card was super annoying.
Right you are.
That's right. In chat, show some love. Did you like Mordecai? A little bit of 1s. Did you hate Mordecai? A little bit of 2s.
And now I'm going to mess it up by saying if you felt both, do a 3.
If you like
Now
that,
they're
yeah.
just going to be typing all the numbers.
There we go. I like it. Spam the chat.
Yeah. It's like opening Pandora's box.
That's right.
Before you put the idea in their head, you'll get at least like 5 seconds of them doing the right numbers. And then one of them will slowly realize, oh, let's just put numbers in.
Yeah.
And then they all start doing that. The funniest thing is each of them that are doing that think they're smart. But everybody else is doing it too.
That's right.
You're like, oh, I'm not unique. And then they come to terms with the fact that they're just one measly little dot in the universe.
Whoa!
And then
whoa,
they all come
whoa.
together and they become the collective humanity.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
The Nexus.
Embrace the smallness of the human. In the context
Somebody,
of the
I need
universe.
therapy after casting on the radio. You know, let's be quite honest. I don't know if my brain's gonna be right after months and months subject to all this
Sitting next
craziness.
to me.
Somebody help. I'm gonna have to start a GoFundMe for freaking therapy, man.
I have to sit next to Rainy when I cast. I need help.
I need help, please. He's very dark. My positive attitude is waning. And like clockwork, Deus Ex finds itself into Praetorian's hand.
The puppet strings too, which we didn't see all last game, but
true.
showed up perfectly this game.
He's only got one of them in the deck. He's got the Acceleratiums as well.
His resonance is on odd turns, so that means that turn 6 won't shuffle.
But he does have the Spinaria in hand.
Yeah, I can shift things.
Ooh, this is kind of odd. Spinaria against a Tentative Knight. What do you do?
Play the thinking music.
Yeah, well, technically you can puppet into the Attentive Knight and then evolve the Spinaria over it. This is also an okay play. You can also puppet and then evolve something into this just to get it off the table, which is not a bad move. This also puts Resonance in the right place if Praetorian wants to go off, which means...
Oh, you can just puppet this thing. Puppet, Ancient, puppet.
And then play out the Acceleratiums to set up for the Deus Ex next turn. This is all going right for Praetorian right now.
Yep. Yep.
Technically, he could have Hamlined.
That's right.
Oh, he is going to Hamlin. Put an extra puppet in the hand. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll live again.
Interesting.
Right.
I feel like with Saphira, you kind of want to do that with your artifacts, especially since you have Acceleratium down. It's essentially not quite the same, but probably the same.
Probably the same.
This song's for you.
All right, and Shadowcraft going to try to do its card advantage machine here. It's Andrew Alphys and Pure-Hearted Singer.
Prepare yourself.
Okay. A Hamlin is going to be able to be traded into.
And this is not a bad hand for ZEROFYNE. He's got board. He's got a Prince Catacomb leading into an Ektar turn. Very strong mid-game.
Yep. There's that puppet coming in handy.
Yep. Can't imagine this Deus Ex not hitting play.
This machine shall read your fate.
That is a crazy animation. Takes
Yeah,
up
I know.
the entire screen.
It's the blades, and when Deus Ex attacks as well, it's those spinning blade things. It's so cool.
Yep. And hopefully you guys have seen Deus Ex up here on screen enough to finally get through
it's
all
a long
of what
sentence.
she does. It's long.
A set of sentences, paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, didn't even waste an evolution orb.
Yeah. So kind of a bad redraw on the fact that does see one of the Saphiras, but I don't think you care too much. I think next turn is just going to be a lot of flooding your deck with more artifacts with a meta production. But he's got to come back on this board, and next turn is not going to be very helpful for him. He does have one ancient artifact, does have a ward.
Yeah.
Can't
And
clear
really,
the
I
board like
think
he wants.
Praetorian should just be dumping artifacts, building and dumping artifacts as much as he can. This is probably the 2 turns that ZEROFYNE is going to get the most damage on board, because once the artifact engine spins up, he's never going to have anything on board after every turn.
This is why it's so awesome to just watch this deck. You never know what's going to happen with whatever redraw. It's like, did I draw the artifacts that I just made? Or did I draw some boobas? Some not so good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spinaria's artifact can in to generate another artifact, and the profit of 1 play point, because you have Acceleratium and Deus Ex active. So 1 play point artifacts will give you 1 profit play point.
Which is really good. It allows you to do these crazy turns.
Yeah. And if you throw the Spinaria's artifact in, you don't need to meta production.
It's true.
Looks like he won't do that.
Now the fight begins.
I like this. And then he shaves the Demon Eater down to a 1/1, so it doesn't have any profitable trades. Such as into the Spinaria's artifact.
Bup. Okay, substitution, another accelerator right on time, and a biofab, which can be very useful. But this is the second Saphira, I believe, in hand now.
And no artifacts. Oh, he's got the Fervent Machine Soldier to pull 1. Okay, and then he can biofab it. And he's got Dimension Cuts to clear board.
Yeah. I wonder if you feel comfortable throwing away the Saphira here. It's your second one, it's your last one. Unless he brought 3. I think he only brought 2.
Praetorian bought 3. I think he's
Okay.
a 3er. Yeah, Fatina only brought 2 in his list.
Yeah. If you bring 3, then you're totally fine.
Yeah. You only need to see the last one. Realistically, he's still a few turns away from wanting to play it anyway, so it's probably going to hit the bin regardless. Every once in a while, though, I mean, it is a good... I mean, it's still a 6 play point 4/6 with a rush. It's still a solid 6-drop.
Yeah, especially if you need, for whatever reason, the stats on board, right? The artifacts live and die, but Saphira stays.
They're so fresh.
Wow, on the 4-1.
Bonk. Already had a free trade with that one.
He's feeling hungry.
Using up the shadows. Building up the Prince Catacomb, though, to set up for Ektar.
You know, sometimes in many ways, this is just like feeding the Portalcraft deck, right? You're just... Basically, you're just sending chumps to help the Saphira weight train.
Right.
Oh, and if you leave that Spinari on there, there can be some insane turns.
Yeah, but again, not a lot of artifacts yet, but another Fervent Machine Soldier drawn. Very good stuff. Let's see the chain. Let's see how Praetorian wants to play this turn out. He's got a lot of options here.
I would assume you put Acceleratium down first, because that will help you profit play points off your Machine Soldier. Acceleratium. What do you draw? Probably a Mystic, actually. It seems the most likely because he hasn't seen it. Nope.
Analyzing great, and that's a perfect thing to biofab here.
Now you profit 2 points.
Awaken.
Resonance is on.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, the chain begins.
Nice. ZEROFYNE's expression exactly reflects what I feel like.
Yeah, right? You're just playing against Portalcraft, you're like, okay. Alright.
The bones embrace me.
Oh, yeah, that was last game, so he has the nilpotent. Not going to be... It can't help against Aisha.
Oh my goodness. Pulls another analyzing artifact.
It never ends.
It never ends.
Yeah, you can do this, and you can Dimension Cut if you want. This turns off Resonance, but you have Meta Production. But if you have Meta Production, you can't Dimension Cut.
You don't even need to trade in the Analyzing Artifact because it has the Spinaria effect.
That's right, yeah. It's about the same, so you can Dimension Cut here, but then that will shuffle your hand. Okay, he turns it off. That feels like to me that the Saphira is up to a pretty high number.
Yep. It's gotten a lot of effects going for him.
Yeah. How many did he throw in? It must be around like 11 by now.
Something to that effect. Now, if you guys are wondering why, it's like, why is Portalcraft good against Shadowcraft? Because Shadowcraft tries to take over the board. Portalcraft does it better.
Yeah.
Just has so many more options given the fact that you get to redraw up to 6, and then you get play point bonuses when you play your cards. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. The fact that Praetorian is also leading the charge in terms of play points too means that Saphira versus Aisha is going to be very tough for ZEROFYNE to justify. As long as Praetorian can continue to control his resonance, Saphira is probably just going to shut the gate because it's so unlikely that Ektar does anything this game, and there's not a lot of wards.
Yeah. Now, the crazy thing to me is, so Praetorian feels safe enough with the hand to keep it, right? Because he chose to keep it this time.
Yep.
And 2-dimension cuts and, was it Nilpilfers again?
Nilpotent entity?
Nilpotent entity, that's right. He feels safe enough with those cards that he didn't want to redraw, which means that he doesn't have this artifact-heavy, like, clear the board type of turn that he could have had he gone for it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it works out just fine for him. 2 Demon Eaters sitting across from him, not too scary.
Yeah. Now, Dimension Cut or the... So the big problem here is controlling your resonance, right? If you actually want to save your Saphira. There's actually no way that I can see that you do that.
Let's see. Nope. Hamlin doesn't get anything that would do it either. So yeah, kind of all for naught last turn.
Yeah, might just be waving goodbye to that.
So might just play it out. It's not bad here. I mean, you could Dimension Cut both followers, which is also not bad. Playing out Saphira gives you a nice body. I think playing the Nilpotence is pretty strong here too.
Yeah, you're not gonna see it anywhere else.
Wants the body. Yeah, I think this is the right choice. Just presenting a big board.
Oh, there it is, this last Saphira. Okay, so this is basically the perfect scenario.
Yep.
And when you get to this turn, it gets really interesting because even if your Saphira isn't quite there, depending on the board your opponent plays, you can't just start throwing in artifacts because you profit play points. You stay at 10 play points, or you go back up to 10 play points, and your Saphira is just continually gaining damage.
Right.
Every artifact you throw in.
Right now, he's got 2 analyzing artifacts that he can just throw in for an extra 2 damage for Saphira, get those play points back in player.
If he pulls any of the other artifacts, could happen. The thing to make note of is Mystic Artifact will lose you 1 play point, but then you play an Analyzing Artifact and it gains you back that play point if you miss. So you can just cycle the 2 and constantly be at 10 play points to play the Enhance.
Alright, we're going to put the Saphira to the test. See how big she can get.
It's whatever Saphira is at right now plus probably 2, maybe more. So if our number was right and it was like 11-ish before,
pretty darn close.
Then it's pretty close.
Yeah.
And this was a pretty huge artifact game.
Yeah, drawing a bunch of them at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not an instant slam, so that tells me that it's maybe a little out of reach. Not baseline on the Saphira, and not within 2 artifacts. It feels like Praetorian is thinking about this turn a little.
You could even start with an Icarus, so that you can hopefully draw more artifacts off the top, which is exactly what Praetorian is aiming to do. Because you'll profit again those 1 play points back.
Okay.
Not quite. Probably going to jam the other analyzing artifact now, see what he draws.
Yep. You're not at risk of lethal either. The Aisha doesn't destroy you in one go. Okay.
Alright, so this to me seems like we were a little bit off with our counting. So, not lethal Saphira just yet.
Very close. Can you activate Resonance?
I don't think he wants to. I think this is the
Oh, that's right, because
your
Saphira is there.
It's the last Saphira.
Yep. Acceleratium is going away. Now, he did just install a few ancient artifacts, which can be very good. Because after this Acceleratium is gone, neither the Mystics nor the Analyzing Artifacts can... Sweet.
Alright, and what is ZEROFYNE's options here? He can not clear the board. Actually, I mean, yeah, as a matter of fact, he can. He's got a Necro Assassin in hand, and he's got a Zombie Party, so he can play those after playing some followers first, so he doesn't use the Enhance on the Zombie Party.
Yeah, he's got the Goblin. Yeah,
well,
definitely needs to preserve health. So I almost feel like that's a necessity for him. Oh!
Oh, wow.
Totally burned.
Shuts off board clear. Allows for 4 damage. I think that's
it.
That's it, yeah.
The Saphira has to have enough damage by this point. And Praetorian is going to take yet another victim through his Portal Craft deck.
That's right. Well, I mean, I don't think that Saphira is under 10, but it could be somehow. Because again, this is not an instant slam.
How many artifacts did he throw in?
It's got to have been a lot.
It has to be more than 10.
I don't know, man.
I guess it's not. Maybe it's at 9.
Maybe it's right there, just not there. You know.
I feel like this game was
ZEROFYNE did the math. You know, he's like, you know what? I know Saphira can't kill me.
Yeah, he was probably putting a tick mark for every artifact.
That's what you should do, by the way, folks. If you really want to win your artifact games, is count how many you have died.
Or count them on your hand. So, okay, evidently it's not a thing here.
It's not.
That makes this game a lot more dangerous.
It does. It means
you can't play the Mystic because that's going to shuffle your hand.
Yikes.
If you play out the Puppet, that doesn't clear. 2 on 1 is 4. You're 1 damage away from Aisha Lethal. So you have another turn.
Yikes.
Oh my god.
Man, we thought this game was over. Definitely not.
Oh my god. What happened?
What did happen?
You know, there were a few optimizations even in Praetorian's early game where we, Hamlin on the Puppet instead of the artifact.
1 extra artifact there.
If he's 1 artifact away, if he's 1 damage away, it might have made the difference.
That's interesting.
And now without the Acceleratiums, you don't necessarily have a turn where you can drop in play points and then build it back up to the 10 to have Saphira reach lethal in that sense.
That's right, and the Aisha has been freshly drawn, so that means this game will be over in short order.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Necro Assassins for board clear as well, so that's going to make sure that the Sephiric maintains at the not lethal territory.
Yeah, if it wasn't lethal last turn, definitely not going to be lethal this turn.
Oh no.
That must mean that it's at like 8 or 9 or something to that effect.
Yeah, probably at 9. Oh, it's just
so close.
Okay.
All right, breath of fresh air.
Okay. And as long as you keep the damage under 5, if there's 4 damage left, then you have 1 more turn. And I think after these artifacts play out, you'll probably have leave. Or maybe you'll be 1 off.
Well, maybe.
I don't know if
yeah,
it was 9.
If it was
you're
at
probably 1
9,
off.
still 1 off, yeah. But the thing is, ZEROFYNE has to keep clearing the entire board at this point. He cannot afford to let any extra damage through because he knows what that last card in hand is. This Resonance has been shut off for a while. That card is blaring. I am Saphira.
Yeah, it's not like you're thinking, oh, Portalcraft didn't draw into it. You literally drew.
No, this guy stopped drawing 3 turns ago, and he has 1 card left in his hand. I know what it is.
Oh no!
It's so close. Is there a way to get that artifact in? Does he have an Acceleratium left in his deck?
Oh! There's no way to swing it in if you're not swinging now. That means you don't have lethal. Praetorian, no!
It's probably at 13. It's probably at 13. If it's at 13,
I can't believe this. I want to see the numbers on this.
He's gonna play it. He's gonna play it. Otherwise, I mean, he's just gonna lose, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he can't, right? Because it's not lethal, but he knows he's probably going to die. Yeah, we want to see the number.
You have to wipe out 4 damage, so 3 followers need to go. You don't have Acceleratium. Saphira, even if Saphira swings into the followers, I think you're still done. Right? You only have 2 sources of swinging.
1.
No, if you go into the 2-2 at a 3-1, summon the skeleton.
Yeah, summon the skelly.
Oh no! Unless we were being trolled this whole time.
And it's like 25. And he's just like, what's up?
That's it.
Oh.
That's it. Mid Shadow. Oh.
Wow.
Mid Shadow does it.
We need to see the numbers. In my mind, I want to say that Praetorian. If that one, we need to know from Praetorian what that number was.
Oh God, my gosh.
We're not going to talk to him just yet.
He's just going down to the losers bracket here.
You need to know. That's a question. I'm writing it down. What was that Saphira at?
Praetorian takes the loss, and ZEROFYNE moves on in the winners bracket. Praetorian came that close.
That's close.
If it was 2 times, then it was 1 off. Hamlin, the ancient artifact.
Yeah. I don't want to say he made a lot of misplays in those games, but there were a few turns in the previous game where he misused a few dimension cuts in this.